Hi everyone, my name is Pei Yu Liao. I originally come from China, but I have lived in New York for 6 years. So climate change, of course, is like very important to all of us because it's like relevant to our daily life. And I hope everyone can pay attention to this topic. Thank you so much.
The climate crisis is our call. We can do this. Let us work together. It is our time, it is our generation. And let's achieve climate action, SDG 13.
Hi, my name is Caroline Rockesway-Johovsky. I'm with United Nations Association of Brooklyn chapter with the Young Professionals Group. That time to act for climate change is now, not tomorrow. Yesterday would have been nice. Today. We are taking a stand today. Stand with us, fight with us, climate change.
Hi, my name is Ashish Birgi. I am the CEO and co-founder of MASH Project Foundation, which is a social enterprise based in India. We work with young people on some of the most important solutions through creating innovative solutions to various problems. And we've been working with a lot of different projects in India as well as in other countries. I think it's very important that young people should step up and take action towards the climate, the whole climate problem, which is growing bigger and bigger day by day. And one of the biggest reasons that youth should come forward is that it's our generation and our next generation which will be impacted by the most. And never before in the history we are so technically advanced, and we have access to the kind of resources which can really create a mass level impact. So it's important to join forces, build partnerships, and work together in building a better world for everyone.
My name is Ngotenga Bayo Chantal. Je suis du Tchad et je représente le pays pour parler de l'avancée de la désertification au Tchad et des actions que nous devons mener, comme être présente aujourd'hui et lutter afin que le désert s'arrête, et surtout être la voie pour qu'on puisse réunir les moyens et les efforts nécessaires pour aider à stopper la tarification du lac Tchad. Merci.
My name is Daniel Chiduben Buje. I'm the founder of Team 54 Project. It's a non-for-profit based organization that raises awareness about the impact of climate change in over 100 countries. I'm from Nigeria. And thank you, Wen, for having me in this interview. Okay, so why are we here today? So we're here today at the United Nations Youth Climate Change Summit to join other 500 to 600 youths that have been selected from across the world to come and profile solutions on how climate change impacts on them. I am very excited, and I want to appreciate the United Nations News or United Nations NGO News for this opportunity to further state why we are here. So young people are here because the Sustainable Development Goal 13, climate action, impacts on them directly. As you are aware, climate change is destroying a lot of countries, and is destroying a lot of hopes and ambitions of a lot of young people. People have been killed as a result of flooding. People have been killed as a result of climate-associated risk problems. So the United Nations decided that it will be time to hear out young people as they plan for the UN General Assembly. And one of the discussion, or one of the days that have been set aside for discussion, was today. So today, being the 21st of September 2019, the United Nations will be engaging and listening to young people, especially young people that are in the front line of impact of climate change, like those in Kiribati, those in Fuji Island, those in Nigeria, those in Ghana, in Senegal, in Malawi, in Mozambique, in Zimbabwe. These are regions where vulnerability to climate change index is in the highest. So we are very excited because we're going to bring some demands. One of the demands are this, that young people should join the adults, or should join an intergenerational dialogue on how best we're going to turn the world, or how best we're going to make the world green again. One. Two, we should ensure that those in the front line, those that are disproportionately affected by climate change, are quickly assisted. Especially the onus is on developed nations who have over the years extracted a lot of things. The onus is on corporate entities who have over the years made money out of people's misery. It is time for you to release funds. It's time for you to assist and partner with those nations that are vulnerably displaced to make the world better. 3, it is time we begin to look for newer forms of energy. We are aware that the constant extraction or the constant dependence on fossil fuel technology or fossil fuel run economy has brought us where we are. And we cannot keep doing the same thing that has brought us no result and keep doing it all over again. It's called insanity. We now have an environmental insanity direction. We need to change that. This summit is a redemptive summit. It's a redemptive summit because world leaders in 2015 in Paris agreed that climate action will need to be taken, a more ambitious, robust national determining contribution will need to be made. None of them till date has been able to fulfill 100% of that narrative. Secondly, there is also another Addis Ababa agreement. The Addis Ababa agreement is a framework that reinforces the Paris Accord agreement, yet nothing has been done. So this summit, one of the things we're pressing on is that whatever agreement that is being entered by all our heads of states and leaders, let it also be considered upfront and let young people be part of that discussion. Thirdly, that as we move from fossil fuel dependent economy to renewable energy or to renewable cleaner forms of energy, by renewable we mean energy that will not in any way generate emissions, energy from primary sources like water, like sunlight like we have here, like wind, and like other wonderful ones, geothermal. All those things are energy that can be harnessed in such a way to create new decent job and to give us the critical energy that we need to drive the world and achieve sustainable development goal. 4, that we must, that developed nation must ensure that the funding, funds, or cash flow or financial flow are directed towards our most vulnerable nations, especially those in the continent of Africa, those in the continent of the Pacific Island nation. These are some of the demands, and these are some of the things that we want here. But for me personally, above all, I want our world leaders coming for this summit on Monday and youths around the world that are listening. I want them to understand fully well that it's time we start to put a human face. It's time we start to have compassion. It's time we open up our ideas to new innovative ways to address our solution. The solutions to address climate change are all here. All we need to do is make tough decisions. In June 20 of 2019, my organization, Team 54 Project, won a competition, and our idea is to use technology to be able to address and build adaptive capacity and prepare people for disaster. So the adaptive component of addressing climate change is what our app tries to help. And in partnership with the United Nations Office of Out of Space, we won the competition. We'll be going to Washington, D.C. in October to make things work. But before we won this competition, there was a primary idea that we had. It's called the Rep Climb. The Rep Climb is built to be a mobile app that can report in real time disaster situations, that can relay these messages to governments that are saddled with the responsibility of helping people. It will also have a GPS tracking device in it or on the operating system. It will also help enlighten people about the impact of climate change. It will help those traveling into regions that have climate change better understand what it is. It will help partners and stakeholders and those willing to invest to make informed decisions properly. So we now thought it wise, or we thought it fundamentally correct to bring on board development, to bring on board this new idea, especially knowing fully well that most of those in vulnerable island nations, most of those in Africa, all have cell phones. So informations that are gotten from supercomputers are directed and sent either to email or as SMS for warning signs, ambient alerts, alert system to help them better respond in real time to ecological development. Why we press on governments to ensure that mitigation approaches, building power plants that are driven by renewable energy, building windmills, harnessing the power of water or the ocean, all move forward. This is some of the reasons why young people from all over the world are here. This is one of the reasons why young people demonstrated yesterday or protested yesterday or organized rally across the world. We are doing that because we know that this is our future. We are doing that because we know if we don't act now, we will have nothing for the future. I want to also commend All In for Climate Action. All In for Climate Action is a coalition of movements by young people. These young people have been able to raise 1 million votes. This 1 million votes all encompasses what we want as human beings, as young people, our future, how we will generate prosperity. We want to come on board the table of discussion with world leaders to provide some of the wonderful solutions that we have. And the All In for Climate Action, with the help of change.org/m/All In for Climate Action, that's our website. Go there and see all the wonderful things we do. We also want to thank Team 54 Project. Team 54 Project is a non-for-profit based organization that raises awareness about the impact of climate change. They brought me here. I want to shout out to Melitza and Matthew for creating the opportunity for Team 54 Project and all our members from South Sudan. Emmanuel, thank you for coming. Sebastian, thank you for coming. Hebziba, thank you for coming. Maria, thank you for coming. Ada, thank you for coming. And all our members that are still coming in tomorrow, thank you for joining this movement and creating a better world. It is time we take action on climate change. It is time we all come on board to create a better future for ourselves, our children, and their own children. Thank you for having me, UN, NGO. Thank you for having me, ONE.
The less we consume and the more we create, we find new creative solutions, right? If we're using single-use plastics, we won't bring around a cup, right? And that may be more convenient, but the cost of convenience and environmental impact, so we know what that true cost is, and we incorporate that into our own accounts. The small action that is, we begin to build the momentum to really feel optimistic and hopeful.
I think all of us have been talking a little bit about how, every little bit helps, and the more people we have involved, the more we can do, and that collective action matters. But boiling that down a little bit, there's a role for collective action, so the power of 350,000 people marching together, but there's also a role for every person as an individual standing up and saying, this is the one thing I'm going to change today, these are the 5 things I'm going to change this month, and this is the lifestyle that I want to have by the end of this year or by the end of the next 5 years, hopefully a bit sooner than that. So what kind of actions have inspired you to change? What do you want to carry on forward, and what's your number one ask for everyone out there?
And joining in something bigger than ourselves. So I think that when we can show that one plastic bottle has value in it, it's important that we stop the destructive habits in our lifestyles. I think that's when we can connect with the general public to stop these bad habits. Something that I've done to reduce my carbon impact is I have given up meat. I'm almost done with eating chicken because it's a process. I'm not saying that everyone just needs to end it right now. I think it takes time for these we get set in our ways. So I think it's going to take time, but it has to be a short amount of time because we're not going to get anywhere if we wait 50 years. It's over by then. So we have to take these steps for improvement, whatever those steps are, and everyone can make those steps.
So if you're addressing the shipping industry and trying to make it more sustainable, not only regarding carbon emissions, but also other pollutants, waste, and noise pollution, for example, we can really make an impact. And so I want to ask for 3 things. First of all, don't go cruise shipping. It's just not worth it. It is so unsustainable. And if you are finding other ways of enjoying the ocean, then find it. We have to protect our ocean. It's such an incredible ecosystem. So if you want to take a tour on the oceans, why not use a sailing boat, right? Or why not go to the nearest sea and just enjoy it, enjoy the ecosystem. And then second of all is go out out there, use social media, inform your governments about the opportunities of protecting our oceans. For example, in the Baltic Sea, we have created certain areas where ships are only allowed to use liquid natural gas, which is more sustainable than normal gas. Or normal combustion power fuel set ways. And then my third thing is there is so much we can do about finding more sustainable ways of fueling the shipping industry or transportation in general. And that means we have to find new technologies and innovations. And that's where I really would like to call upon all girls. Technology is such an interesting topic to get into. I've never thought I would be doing it, and very often it strikes me still that not having an engineering background, I'm doing what I'm doing, but honestly, there's so much to explore and do, so please do go into technology and innovation. We really need you girls.
Thank you. Let's see.